Hello, 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 hello. Here, I hear you guys. I hope you guys can hear me well. Hopefully, this is my last attempt to convey a message of which I was trying to get you guys. What you call a prime. I guess it's. I wouldn't consider it to be a complaint because I haven't spoken to anybody much about this. Very few to rarely anybody knows of my condition, which is called. It's a mystery. Voices in my head. My kids know about it for sure because it occurred in our previous home, and of course when I was married, and professionals were called in, and professionals were sought and to take care of this condition. Now, you would after these things are done, which lasted over a period of, I suppose, 3 to 4 years, you would conclude that it probably has to be a form of a mental illness, a mental condition, which I guess would clarify when you are or were too much in love with the universal aspect of things, meaning that the heavens. Knowing God too much or being too intimate with God can possibly lead you to this condition, but it would also say that continuously speaking, even the God get tired of you or fed up and would want to stop talking and move on. Now, between the heavens and the earth and between heavens and humans, are we supposed to be communicating with them? Absolutely not. Even through prayers, there are ways in which we can talk to them, and every human being is designed with a special way or condition to be able to speak to something that is alive, not something that is actually not is I can say, I perhaps can say it's what you call matter. A scientific term for that is matter. And most of the times, people that have those conditions, I suppose, are people that are kind of people that are of a outlet, an outlet that is very, very deep. You would say that it's probably a diamond. Just say diamond. A person that is supposed to be seeking a diamond deep, deep down in the ocean and using it as a socks in order to get through time. Time is very important in this type of person, because if you don't have time, you're going to end up homeless. And that means, because you can wait for the heavens to come and rescue you all day, all night for years, and they're never going to show up. They're going to look at you as, what are you waiting for? You need to get up and get to your domestic destination. Now, can it be a condition where a parent can endow you with that situation? I'm not sure yet, because I do not want swirls to be coming out on you. Now, my condition means that we have ears and audibly speaking, and we have these kind of, we have our throats. So when we kind of speak, it all the vibration comes in here, comes into our belly, suffocate what's in our belly, and then comes up in a kind. Is it a frequency? Yes. And I guess my frequency could have been wheels on my valleys, which would have taken me from one destination to get to another, and contributing to creating shoes. Okay, that's new. Contributing to those things, whereas I guess my eyes are allowed to see these things, and it leads me. Now, meaning that I just came off the train, and I could be dozing off, and I would raise my head, and there it is. These little critters are talking to me. So what are they talking about? Yays and nays, yes or no's, people's lives, or fighting in some sort of dilemma. It's basically the atmosphere of which the heavens in war with themselves, or in weary with themselves, quarreling about things to or not to, or things that are most of the time it's important, but it comes in a way of which they themselves don't understand, because most of the times the ones that are chit chatting does not quite understand or comprehend the real reason behind what you call the egret experience. Okay, I just wanted to take a time to stretch myself because I can feel my electricity coming on. Bear in mind that when you get to this point, because it's been going on for 8 to 10 years, when it's been going on, after a while things get weary of you because you're not moving very fast, especially when most of your funds has to be dictated well. And once you get to a destination, sometimes you have to sit and wait to get on the next boat or plane or train. And or I just need to get my nails done also because they're very raggedy, and a very important vital part of my experiment, as well as my feet. I'll be checking on my feet in a minute because it has a severe blister, but I think that the nail polish will do it well. And having to figure out, sleeping conditions can be rough, as you see. So, I'm working on that, but, fairly okay, satisfied, but feeling the electricity can be a little overbearing. Now, it means that sometimes they say it comes in love, but anything that's itchy and hurty, I am very anal about it, and doesn't consider it to be to her, and you want to conversate or you want to talk, and she comes, she's gonna get when I'm done, hopefully my recording works this time so I can get into a musical inclination and lay down and so on. Now it means that when I hear, I hear. Now, I guess this is when would this start? 2016 in March, getting up in the morning and in the kitchen, and when I would, hi. And the second time it occurred, it actually calls my name, hello, Pinky. So when it says Pinky, that the second time around was after I was hospitalized, came home, and that voice actually came in, and I guess the family recognized it was in, but I think one of us recognized that it wasn't going to last based on how she was carrying herself. She was not getting into the aspect of what she was called to be, such as plugging in. I guess that was a very important. She drifted from it, but she went. She felt that she needed to get into the work field a bit. I guess and seek that employment. And when you seek, you seek. When you seek from a force that and from a source that is not of a proper cushion, then you sort of get that tail on you all your life. But I suppose that's nothing compared to what that will have on its tail, or what the surroundings of that kind of fishy behavior will have. Now, hello, Pinky. How does it feel the world is existing and you are here sleeping? But I used to get up and do my chores, getting my kids off, seeing certain things, get up, take my shower, and I suppose I decided one day, look, the feeling of the depression is not getting off of me, so I need to go and get, I don't know, take my phone. I wasn't even taking my phone, actually. And I went to, I believe it's Kroger on in Madison there. In Kroger, Madison, Starbucks over there. And I was able to get myself a brownie and some hot chocolate or whatever the situation may be. Sat there and I was able to look at that information, of course. was probably captured by the egret of Phoebe, and after that myself, and then I was able to gravitate, went to several places, met several people, and went on. Started to feel uplifting to myself, and even sleeping a bit better because it wasn't a pleasant situation. And then one morning, as I was laying in bed, hello, Pinky. How does it feel to have the world carrying on and having a good time while you're sleeping? Whoa, big deal. Did you come to rescue me? And Sophie, we got up, but I quickly realized, okay, this is not going to be good. No, that informed her of a I'm going to, it's not a happy situation. We come to treat you bad and we're going to test you, engage and nays. But the testing was not quite understand yet. But I did see certain things as clouds. It was clouds that indicated to me that I had socks. I saw perhaps myself at an older age on on the wall, always doing this, but it probably wasn't the same as the what shakes in Guyana's Parika when I was there. A more mature me, a more anticipated me, meaning that will I get to this point? And the question of that is, I've been doing a journey of my dad who I've never met, and my dad who probably was a very mysterious man also. And suspiciously speaking, he probably could have been through the same experience but never was able to meet himself. So that is the probably the emergency situation that's going to come upon us. So we have to act very quickly. And she's skeptical of when she speaks about it because she's probably anxious to meet her also because she recognizes she was very mature. But certain things were not formed as yet. So I suppose that's how sneaky and smart she is to say, that's what they probably want to see at first. So they're going to make sure that that emergency situation or whatever the evacuation is supposed to be smoother than what was previewed. Now, the I do you get used to it? I did, but as expected, a lot of times it gets overbearing, especially when the universe gets anal about a situation which trots in its head. Right now, there's another situation that trots in its head. So, seeking answers from the Phoebe is what they do, and I suppose even the egret aspect they have to get to the Phoebe. Now, I guess there's people that are close to me that is not of good condition, or are if they're trying to steal. A lot of times when people are trying to steal what Phoebe's father has constructed for her, and when they try to steal that and come close, my body becomes very electrical, and it's kind of a deadly, and that's why the situation has to be an emergency. And carrying a load is not an easy thing for an evacuation condition. Now, my eyes, I guess it's my eyes are probably very glossy in terms of wheezing and singing, and then it comes right back inside and give that information. And only when the canvas is at play do I get that information live. Otherwise, there's probably a décalage, and most of the time it's not important, so she seeks not. And then I can probably talk a little about my kind of canvas glasses that fits me, and it kind of uploads information to me. This is why I'm plugged in right now, and I have my mic, and it allows. Now, mostly talking about that, it can be very annoying because people are always, what is she talking about? I would rather sit and talk to her, which is probably not the intent of the universe, sitting and talk to her. And it's annoying in this fact that you're constantly talking, and the information you're talking about, sometimes it's about somebody, or sometimes it's about a situation of myself that I did not grasp until I finished the conversation and grasp. And my secrets about my mouth, I suppose information will be given mostly to my children. But I just wanted to know, let you guys know that I'm it's not you call it a whisperer. I call it a voice, a voice hearer. And I guess that condition would be considered what you call the aspect of the I don't know, it's an aspect of the egret, but it's beyond that in the fact that I probably carry what you call a motorization inside of me. And as I explained, it's basically here, can get this, and not necessarily to at the tip of my ears, so that it's sometimes it feels I can sense the frequencies, and at other times it can go. I can even get musical in terms of hearing, I don't know, Mozart, Beethoven, the melody, and whatever music I'm familiar with, I can hear that when they are ready to cooperate. And I can also I suppose I can use a side of me to really soothe people. And a lot of times my voices do, based on if what the Nate decides to talk about. Otherwise, the person just go away, okay? And allow her to ventilate until that time has passed. Now, I suppose with time it can get to be something that is very glamour, but for now it's a little tasse. The fact that I have been seeking the outside by forcible means, as I said before. If when you are of this kind of specimen, if time is upon you, you can end up here and be forced to make certain decisions. So you would say that somebody that is homeless has to examine themselves. Yes, no. Those people have I don't know. They have insurances. They have I don't know. Things that are have been given to them so that they can get away a bit. Now, I guess those things are regulated through quarrels sometimes. Like they want to sit with it until she quarrels, and sometimes you're saying, okay, maybe I need to go get a job of that nature, go get a broom or whatever, a mop, and do it, and then just tackle people and just stick around them until they start to quarrel in their heads about their nails or about their privacy. Now, when it's probably all done, I'm probably based on the time, and based on the time it will take for the actual words to come out and the actual plugins to really work. And I guess I deal with a lot of things that are I don't know, gold, for example, things that are gold that I haven't adventured to yet. And most of the times I have to wait until I get to that Phoebe, the actual mature Phoebe who has accomplished these things. She has accomplished all of this and put it together to show her that she knows the roughness of her dilemma. And I guess I do this video for my children to understand me a little more, and to understand that I am not here to wreck anybody's life or wreck my own life, because I love my life and I love what I have constructed, after all these years in France. And I love that I had them, and I love that, I have a granddaughter, and I love that, I can express myself that way. And I suppose, when I speak, sometimes you're just gonna have to put me to my place and says, "Oh, that's not good." But most of the time, it comes to this point where it's the truth. So we kind of had to get years and years of slappings in order to understand that these things probably had to be done. And fits the hats, not necessarily. It's just that if the hat was besides himself, it had to be put to its place so that it knows when she gets to a proper plug-in, for example, that she knows that certain things that she can speak can be a little surprising, furthermore, speaking of the road, perhaps shocking. And people would say, "Whoa, where did you get that information?" And most of the times, can I say it's what I hear? Absolutely not. And that's the confusion with people. Why is she not hearing that while she's speaking? And you have what you call what you call this here, not this here, which is something that is kind of square, that divides between what she hears from somebody speaking and what she hears from her voices. And the voices would take her to a far away land, and somebody comes and speaks to her, and she's listening to that person, and when she comes back, she gets into that conversation. So it's something that is this way, so that humans can now never understand how was this accomplished, and how did we get to this point of this girl's life with this constant nagging or investigation of humanity. It just investigates humanity, but it has to do so in a way that even smarts the being, which is Phoebe, and smarts the Phoebe that is on the in Parika, so that she also has a, oh boy, there's an information that was given away, so I have to crisp and come in, so that what she did was analyze quickly to know, okay, we're going to a little bit. Now, once we concluded of these things, I guess when time comes, people are going to try to talk to Phoebe, interview Phoebe on the voices, and how and why and what and como and s'il te plaît and merci beaucoup. All these things will be asked. So this is just a quick demonstration so that my family can understand where I am right now. And a quick talk about my father, the journey that I was on, unexpectedly leading me back to Guyana quite often to find him not. I kind of anticipated that at this time he's a dead person. So he's dead, and left a dead Phoebe in terms of who she is, and had to reconnect deep inside of herself. And a lot of times, those voices flip her. You're not moving fast enough to go and get that information. Where is he, or who is he? Well, he's dead. And when he left the dead Phoebe, luckily she had a socks with her, so that you could know that, okay, she's going to get to that point, but so it's not going to be. And then recognize that if one of her eyes are, do you seek it yourself? Absolutely not, based on the steel of Phoebe. But she has feet for that, and we have demonstrated. And I'm not getting a flicking to deal with feet, but the feet is very important in scripture, and it's very important in the in the glass is very important, and it's very important in the egret but to know who and what it is and how it functions with these kind of people here, and you kind of soothe it because it can get very disrupting, and to when we get back to her father, for example, what I discovered is that his main purpose on earth probably was, I guess some would say who does not know him, probably was a canvas man, but apparently his original job was a man of glass. So what part of him could be glassy? It probably was his eyes, and because of that, a different fee became forth. But his, when he projects, he gets that information immediately. But his job, you know, getting to this, how the railroad tracks were supposed to be laid out, was his job, and what his worth was. And then he was that campus coming. I got a shock on my back. And I guess these little things, took over and is doing that to her. And a lot of times, it's interest is putting things on your skin so people can recognize. So, originally speaking, it's supposed to be here for you to recognize who I am and to recognize these parts of her, which are not exposed much, but it's exposed now, and you can probably see it. My descendants can probably see it only until like this part you can probably see. So you'll let me know. And my eyes, rarely do I expose my eyes because of my stitch, and sort of keeps it that way. And I believe my father also, he had a type of glasses that he was supposed to wear. Sometimes his death was premeditated on that, and he could have missed the mark and exposed it too much. No, it seems like he had buddies of very important status, and those bodies could have gained from it, but those bodies had passed away also. And that's to tell you that you don't get to communicate with the Most High and call yourself a living person, at least after a minute or two. And you probably need constant showers in my position, because that's probably a soothing way for me to not feel this electricity that's in my body. And doing my canvases are now, what I'm probably going to do is try to see if I can lay for a minute, but it's probably not going to last very long, and so on. But anyway, in all cases, I wasn't the lucky person to be able to hold hands with him. I wasn't able to hold hands with him. No, no. In other words, he would have been such an inspiration, perhaps, to me now. Forget about bygones and who raised who and who raised who, based on my torch. A lot of times it's based on these things, and if you didn't have that torch, you don't seek that route, and would seek it before and make sure that you have planted seeds of goodness so that you know how to cultivate yourself. After that, and don't use me as a needy machine. And I guess you guys will rush on that now. And then know that he probably was a man of love. I was also seeking to see if I was the only seed that he created, shockingly, but I believe he was probably, his zipper probably led him so well, and probably would have said I should have and put some pressure. It probably would have been better, because I would have only had half brothers and sisters on one side and half on the other side, because when you don't on this side, you feel a little left out or alone, and you feel very I don't know, very, just give it all away, I don't care. And that's my experience is helping me to say, yes, you do care because you have kids and you have descendants, and you're here to work with them and to make sure that they smell the things well of which was bestowed upon them by his father. They obviously didn't come into the world to serve people of ethnicity and color. Yes, no. We all have a lending helping hand to others, but